Right, I know it's a while since I last did a video, but that's because, like I've said before, everything I do tends to be the same, give or take an odd day. So I just thought I'd do a quick one now. I'm not going to film loads of it because it's going to be motorway. The usual, really, with regards to driving about. So the only reason I'm doing it is the job I've been given today is a collection, and it's my first time abroad working. So I've got a collection to do at Crick, Daventry, and then we go abroad. I'll just wait for this driver to close his door and then we can get going. Off he goes. As I say, I've never been abroad before driving, and I'm not one for asking stupid questions on Facebook and things like this, so I'm just doing it the old-fashioned way. Just gonna wing it and see what happens. Right, come on. Just spent the night in Northampton, so I've got about half an hour to drive up the road. And when I say winging it, I haven't even got any Euros yet, but you'll find sometimes that if you are ever doing anything new, I think too many drivers these days just go straight on Facebook or a forum asking for advice and asking for questions. They don't really know who's answering the questions or giving the advice, do they? You know, you could have passed your test, you know, need some genuine advice on something to do with a job, post a question on Facebook. For all you know, a 10-year-old kid sat in his bedroom pretending he's a truck driver. He's advising you on something he knows nothing of. So sometimes I think it's best just to use your own. Sorry, mate. Roads in Northampton are very bumpy. Yeah, sometimes I think it's worth just doing it the old-fashioned way when we didn't have the internet, didn't have mobile phones, didn't have sat-navs. Just going for it and learn that way. Nobody uses the brain these days. But anyway, that's it for now. I'll shut up, keep droning on, and keep you updated as the day progresses.
Just before we go finish that one off as well. I suppose you've got also things like the travelling plans, because a lot of people have travelled a long way to get to Russia to go on watch a game, pay for their tickets, pay for their flights, pay for their accommodation. If they want to go see a game in England, they're just going to throw away because they want to think about it.
Right, I'm now loaded. I've got my sun hat. I've got my shades. Now I just need to stop, get some Euros, some suntan lotion and some after sun as well to protect me from the sun. So I'll not tell you where we're going yet. Right, let's go. Right, as usual, this kind of work. Problem number one, there's no ferries running from the ferry port that I'm supposed to be going to. So I've been told to park up until further notice to see how desperate the load is. And if it's not desperate, I'm going to have to return it back to where I've just come from. If they are desperate for it, they're going to try and get me a ferry from a different port. So it's just a waiting game now. Nothing straightforward, is it? At least it's a nice day. Right, I'll keep you updated in a bit. Right, originally I wasn't going to tell you where I was going. It was going to be a surprise. Even though it's in Euroland somewhere. Hence the shades, the hat. I've got my shorts on. I've even got my flip-flops on. Got my sun cream, after sun. Due to this cock-up, I'm going to tell you about it. Now, as we all know, we live on a big island, and anywhere off this big island is always nice and sunny. So that's why I've come prepared for a trip to the distant destination of Dublin. Right, so the plan was collecting, I actually collected out of Stobart at Crick, and I'm going to the warehouse or distribution centre in Dublin. So originally the plan was load at Crick in the morning today, drive up to Holyhead, get the late afternoon ferry across to Dublin, find somewhere to park up, tip in Dublin tomorrow morning, and then just come back. But for some reason today, even though it's one of the warmest and calmest days of the year, there's no ferries running out of Holyhead. So the option was to go up to Stranraer, across to Belfast, and then down to Dublin. Or go down to Fishguard, South Wales, and across, and then up to Dublin. And we've opted to drive to Holyhead and wait, even if it means getting a ferry in the morning, because it will probably take just as long as, because all I'm going to end up doing, I obviously need an overnight rest period, so I either do it on this side of the Irish Sea or the other side. So if I get to Holyhead now and there's major delays for the ferry, hopefully I can get at least 9 hours in, so then in the morning I've all day then just to drive to the other side of Dublin and drive back again. And I'll show you what I'm carrying after as well. It hardly seems worth the trip, but by all accounts the people across in Dublin are desperate for it, because there's a festival at weekend. Well, I'll tell you, it's bottled water. I think it's sparkling water, and due to the fact that at the moment, whether you know or not, there's a carbon dioxide shortage, so the breweries are running low, and obviously other drinks manufacturers are running low, so this must have been the only place that could get it from. So they're desperate. It's now Thursday, they need it for weekend, so there's no other option than to go to Holyhead, wait, and then get on the ferry. So that's it now. Just keep plodding. Can't remember the last time I was at Holyhead. Must have been when I was a kid, when I used to go fishing when we were crossing Ireland. Anyway, like I say, we're still winging it. Still no euros. Probably won't need any anyway. Pay the toll on my card. Let's see how we go from there.
Selected models only. Credit subject to status. UK 18 plus only. Terms and conditions apply. Blackwoods Limited trading with Jaguar Financial Services. What are you in the mood for today?
I want to lose myself in something epic.
Sounds like Game of Thrones is your thing, and you can relive every battle for the 7 kingdoms, because we've got all 7 seasons.
Well, that's my night's watch sorted.
Whatever you're in the mood for, the Now TV Entertainment Pass has the latest and best shows, and over 300 box sets to suit your every whim. To start your 14-day free trial, search Now TV. 18 plus.
Right, I just stopped at the Gigaspace for a brew and a pee. For those of you that can't speak Welsh like myself, Gigaspace is means rip-off service area. £3 for a brew. I thought Anfield were dear at £2.50. £3 and you've got to make it yourself. Anyway, there's a grey hair there. Must be out my hat from when I've lent it someone.
Maybe a lesser chance of winning again.
Right, let's go. aircon on. 30 degrees outside. Ooh, living the dream. Having been driving now for 20 years, I think it's only the past couple of years I've had the luxury of a truck with aircon. In the first 10 years we're driving around in an ERF. So I've got aircon, got a big cab, got a microwave, fridge, £5 an hour. Driving a V8 next for even less money. Nah, I'm only kidding. But I do know some drivers that would rather drive a big fancy truck and earn less than just drive a regular truck and earn more. I mean, we all have an interest in trucks, I suppose, at various levels. But when that overrides your earnings, I think that's a bit bleeding daft. And don't get me wrong, some of them are nice big trucks, but if you're earning minimum wage, I can't see the point. My interest has waned a bit, really. I don't know whether it's because I'm getting older and more focused on earning money and doing a job. But years ago I used to go to all the truck shows. Never used to take my own wagon, just used to go for, have a look round. Can't remember. I think the last one I went to was Truckfest when they had it at Haydock Park. Well, who knows, this summer I might just have a wander round again, have a look round. But another issue regarding earning money, there's a lot of people who seem to think that, the bigger truck you drive, the more money you earn. You'll read on forums Class 1 drivers having a dig at Class 2 drivers and all the rest of that nonsense. But a lot of these Class 1 drivers don't realise that a lot of the Class 2 trucks you see driving round being driven, I don't know, like people like me. This is the four-wheeler Actros, the 18 tonner. Yeah, I spent years driving Arctics, but I don't think people realise that you can earn driving 18 tonners as well. Doesn't matter what the truck is. It's all about finding the right job in it and the right customer. If anybody out there works for themselves like I work for myself, I'd go out tomorrow in a transit van, go out the day after in a 7.5 tonner, next week in a wagon and drag. I'm not bothered. But you do charge a specific rate. People want you to drive their vehicle, they'll pay it. Because if I went out in a transit van tomorrow, I'd still charge the same as I do for driving the trucks. And if they need someone, they'll pay it. It's not an extortionate amount, it's, probably charge the average rate for a truck driver. to anyone watching, if you work for yourself, you've got your Class 1 licence and you're just starting up, don't just think, oh yeah, I've got my Class 1, I've got my C+E, I'm not driving a little truck or a little van. You've got to remember you work for yourself, so you work to earn your money, because if you don't work, you don't earn. It doesn't matter what the vehicle is, does it? It's not a who's got the biggest manhood competition, because if it was, obviously I'd win. Right, change of plan again. Just had a phone call. I'm just on the outskirts of Anglesey and I've just had a phone call to say, bear in mind it's Thursday, there's no boat sailing till Saturday morning. So now we've given the customers various options. which were the ones mentioned before, either up to Stranraer and across to Belfast and down, or back down to South Wales and across and up to Dublin, or just take the stuff back to our yard and then go out and deliver it on Monday. So they've got an hour to decide, and then I'll get another phone call. So that's it for now. Right, I've now been informed that I need to go up to Curtainside, which is Stranraer, to get the ferry across to Belfast. And I'm booked on the 7:30 AM boat tomorrow morning, which I don't think I'm going to get, because it's now 2:30 in the afternoon, and I've probably got about a 6.5 hour drive. I need to be parked up by 9:30, and I've got just over 5 hours driving left if I use my extra hour. But all this for some bottled pissing water, because it's fizzy. Right, so I've got to turn right, but bear in mind where I am. I'm just before the Menai Bridge at Anglesey. So if you look at a map, started at Northampton, collected at the rail freight terminal, Drift, even though it's not Drift, it's Durft, however it is. So from at Northampton Crick, then drove up to basically Anglesey. I've now got to turn around, go back to the M6, up the M6 into Scotland, and across to basically Stranraer. So just look at that on a map and see if this journey's with it. Right, someone else says onwards.
Cause all these long, long years of doubt have been driving me crazy. But now our minds are clearer and the world is at our feet. It's true, you know I couldn't be prouder. You fill me up so full of joy, you burst my heart. I love you, I'll sing it louder. Boy, do you even know how good you are? You fill me up, how good you are. And you know there may be rough times up ahead, but I got you, and you got me, baby. And a second chance is more than most people get. You make me feel like I'm everything to you. Even when you're not here, I'm never alone. You make me feel I'm unstoppable with you. One look at you and I'm home.
See the fire on the hills? That's the grass fires because we've been having this nice weather, everything's bone dry. We're running, excuse me, we're running a bit better now. Still don't think I'm going to make the ferry in the morning. If I do, I'll probably get there with about 5 or 10 minutes to spare before they stop you getting on. So by the time I park up and have my 9 off, da 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 da. I'll probably just miss it by about 15 or 20 minutes. That's the 7:30 ferry, and then there's another one I think at 11:30. So I'll probably end up on that. So I'm just aiming for Carlisle now. Let this guy pass, do some fucking ass. Last time I saw one of their drivers who were pissed. I was driving to the Asda RDC at Washington in the northeast early one Saturday morning, and as I went round a roundabout just around the corner from the Asda, there was I think it was a 26-tonner fridge wagon up on the verge at the side of the roundabout. All the side of his box was missing. All the insulation off the fridge was missing. There was debris all over the road, and the driver was just stood in the road looking at the mess. So I stopped and obviously asked him if he was all right, and he was a bit shook up, but he was all right. And I asked him what had happened. He said a truck had come round the roundabout going the same way as me, and as he'd gone round the roundabout and rejoined the main carriageway, he was on the wrong side of the road. This guy swerved out the way, otherwise he'd have had a head on. This other truck then went up the side of his wagon, didn't stop, just carried on. So anyway, he described the truck to me as being a free, I think a white trailer, flashes on the cab. Because I had a fridge on. I thought, I bet he's going to Asda like me. Anyway, so I drove up the road, pulled into the Asda. This truck was parked at security, no wing mirror. I think the driver's door glass was broke, I think, and as he approached, the driver's door opened, the driver fell out and then just started walking round. So when I went into security, they said they've refused him entry because he stunk of booze. And as I got back to my truck, the police turned up and chucked him in a car. That's not to say that all that company's drivers are like that, because they're obviously not. It was just this one guy, but, and I'll not name names, you probably didn't even notice it when he went past, but hey-ho.
So if Harry was to pick up a knock in the game where England are already through, the manager will open himself up to a lot of criticism. Having said all that, I am very surprised that he's not playing, because as I said, when you score goals, when you don't get tired, there is no tiredness whatsoever when you're out there, you're scoring. Whatever it is, these touches seem to be going back and forth, full of confidence, the way he goes, the way
I'm going to call it a day at Carlisle. Can have a 9-hour. Started at about 6:30 this morning, so it's looking like a 7 o'clock finish tonight, and then I can start at 4, and then try and get that. I've got me there for 6:30. I think I need to be there an hour before the ferry leaves at 7:30. Looking at the mileage and things, it's possible, but due to the fact that road across the bottom of Scotland's hitting 40 mile an hour, I don't want to risk getting a ticket, so we'll see. If it happens, it happens. The other thing is 6:30 now at night, evening. Can't believe it's temperatures flicking between 30 and 31 degrees between Penrith and Carlisle. Funnily enough, the lowest temperature I've ever seen was up here as well a few years ago. I think it was minus, on this stretch of motorway, I think it was minus 16 when we had that really cold winter. Right, anyway, I'm going to come off now and come off at the Golden Fleece, fuel up and then park up for the night. Right, I've not fueled up because there were a big queue. So I've pulled into the parking area, thinking I'd be shielded from the sun by this truck next to me, but it's shining right through the windscreen, so I'm just going to turn around. So the sun's shining on the back and I'm in the shade. And when the sun goes down, I'll look like the oddball bloody driver parking the wrong way in a space. Never mind. just about, aren't we? In 2 minutes that sun will disappear. Right, paperwork, 9 hours, watch England get beat by Belgium, and then go to sleep. Just think I'm in Carlisle now, I should be in Dublin. I had planned on watching the England game in Dublin, but thinking about it, that's probably not a good idea, is it? Probably better off watching it in England, aren't I? Right, anyway, that's it for today.